Hi there booktube, it's Eleanor here, and today I want to talk about my 2019 bookish goals. So my goals for what I want to do with my reading next year and the type of challenges I'll be following and basically what I'm going to be doing. So I've thought of a few things that I want to do, but it's quite unusual for me this year. Normally by this stage I've got a particular project underway. I had a project called Shelf Slam where it was just reading books off your shelf. The current year I've had a project called Bookopoly, which was based on Monopoly, where we were I say we, myself and Janet from Swirly Girly Reads, we've been using these make your own Monopoly boards in order to try and sort of read the books off our shelves and save money, which I will be smashing open my jar for that to find out how much I've saved this year, although by about August I had struggled to keep up with it, and that does seem to be a little bit of a trend for me. I start these types of projects and they're all focused on sort of moving through the books that I already own, and by August time I just feel like I don't want to follow that anymore. And I think it's become apparent this year actually that TBRs have been quite difficult for me. I've not been following them. If I've been doing readathons and I've set myself too strict a TBR, then I've struggled to stick to it and I've not wanted to read them at that time, and I've sort of resisted, and it's meant that I don't think this year I've done very well in terms of readathons, in terms of hitting all of the targets or reading the books that I hope to. So I'm hoping that in 2019 I'm going to leave things a little bit looser, but there are still things that I want to do. One of the things that I really wanted to do is to take part in some yearly challenges, and I found two that I'm really interested in. And the first one is the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge for 2019, and you will have seen a video already about that and the books that I'm going to hopefully read for that challenge. The other one is the 2019 Reading Woman challenge, and that again I will have already made a video and put that up so you can go back and check that out. But those are two yearly challenges that I would like to take part in 2019. One of the things as well that I would like to do is to start writing notes whilst I'm reading books. Often I will finish a book and I will make some notes on what I think. Sometimes I don't even do that, and when I make videos it's completely off the cuff and it's just about my response. But if those videos aren't filmed relatively soon after reading those books, I do find that sometimes getting that same emotion back or remembering coherently some of the things I want to say don't come out. So I want to get into a better habit of writing notes as I'm reading, as I'm thinking of things that I want to share with you, so that my reviews and my talks about books can be a little bit more in depth and covering topics that often I watch back my video while I'm editing and I'm like, oh no, I missed that out. And then because of my tight time schedule, I work full time, I have a daughter I want to spend time with, I have other things going on, I just can't go back and refilm. So I want to do, as I say, some more note taking, and that's a conscious effort I'm going to be making. I've got a notebook ready for it. I've also printed off some sheets recently, which came from a YouTube video that went up quite a number of years ago now, but the link to this person's blog and access to this sort of bookish reading planner was there. I'll link up above the video for that. But I printed these off, they were part of it. I'm not sure if you can see very easily. They're sheets for book reviews, and they ask you things like, is it fiction or non-fiction, all the usual things like book title, author, publisher, a number of pages, the genre, so did you read it in hardcover, paperback, audiobook or ebook? Is it a number in a series, how you discovered it, where you got it, where you read it, any notes you wanted to make, did you read it for book club? And then a scale of 1 to 10 for various different things like plot development, etc. So I'm going to also use that as a supplement alongside the notes that I've made, and hopefully just it'll be a really nice thing to look back on over the year. I'm going to put them in a folder and then I can flick back through all the books and just compare them a little bit more. But I'm not, I know there's a lot of people out there that have these whizzy spreadsheets, and I started one this year and I'm just no good at filling it in. I'm rubbish. So I needed something a little simpler, and that's working for me, I think. I have started it already in December and I feel like it's working, so it's something I can confidently say that for 2019 I'm going to carry on with. I'd also like to set myself a very loose goal of trying to do a readathon a month. I enjoy taking part in readathons and being part of the excitement of it and doing some of the challenges. I'd like to be a bit more focused this year in terms of vlogging and maybe Instagramming, and maybe just taking part a little more, but I really want to get involved in those. And I also want to run my readathons that I run, the Book Buddyathon, and also the readathon I do with Caitlin, which I hope she's going to want to do next year as well, which is the graphic novel readathon we do, Let's Get Graphic. And maybe see if there's anybody out there that I can partner up with to do a different readathon, or if anybody's got any ideas of readathons they want to do and they'd like to talk about it. I'd be really excited about that. Just, yeah, I enjoy readathons, even though if I set a TBR I never stick to it. So yeah, I don't know, but I definitely like to try and do at least one readathon a month. And then the other thing that I'm loosely toying with, and I haven't 100% decided if it's going to work for me yet, is I did want something to try and encourage me to read my books, but I couldn't quite work out what, and I didn't want to make it too complicated. So what I think I'm going to do is that I think £50 a month, which is probably the equivalent of maybe 5 books, depending on if they're hardback or paperback, but about 5 books, I'm going to allow myself as a budget next year. So I'm going to allow myself £50 a month to buy books if I should wish. But at the end of that month, if I haven't bought any books, I'm going to take that £50 and I'm going to put it in a jar like I did this year with the other money. And if I spend £20 of that £50, I'm going to take the £30 left over and put it in a jar. And I'm just going to see if that motivates me to save some money, whether it motivates me to not buy books and to consider a little bit more carefully what I'm picking up. Because there are so many books on my shelves and I really do want to get to them, so my priority next year is just really to focus on those, because I don't want to get to the stage where I'm getting rid of books that I have wanted to read and do want to read, but I feel like my room's too cluttered. So that is definitely something that I'm considering for next year. I'm also going to carry on doing this spin for your TBR, which I really enjoy, and I've done once before and I really enjoyed doing that, although I haven't finished the TBR that I did that for yet. But I'm thinking maybe if I do decide to set loose TBRs at the start of each month, maybe I will use that spinner and just pick 5 books in the month that I would like to get to, or maybe just 2 books at a time, just to try and bring those books off my shelf and help me narrow down to what I want to pick. Yeah, that is really the crux of what I want to do next year. So I want to be making better notes, I want to take part in some yearly challenges, I want to do a readathon a month, and I want to get involved in doing my own readathon. I want to spin for my TBRs occasionally. I want to try and make sure that I am doing my £50 challenge, and maybe there will be other things that come up, but I think that is enough to be going on with. I feel quite comfortable with that, leaving it a bit looser, and there's still plenty in there to be thinking about. I have lots of these mini projects going on at the moment where I have TBRs that are focused on themes, and I'd like to complete them next year. You will have seen the videos of all the different TBRs for those, which I have, so if you want to check those out, they've already gone up, but I want to complete those and talk a bit more detail about each of those as well. So there's loads to be going on with, and yeah, let me know if you've got any ideas for some good plans for 2019 and any plans that you think maybe I should focus on a little bit more. I will be trying to do regular videos on Friday, wrapping up my reading, and there will be other videos as and when I have interesting things to say. I'm not great at scheduling and making it too rigid, but I do try and upload every Friday if I can, so that will be a plan for 2019 as well. Anyway, that's all my waffling for now, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.